Today I'll be sharing a fun look for less project for you all. Hey there, my name is Yami. I am your Latina next door. Welcome back to Mi Casa. Today I'm bringing you a fun look for less project, and I am partnering with my friend Julie from Julie's Wreath Boutique. If you don't know who Julie is, she makes the most beautiful wreaths. She makes them out of different materials. She makes them different shapes and sizes. Her creativity is endless. And they are of such amazing quality. The best part is that she shares how to do them in each of her videos. So if you are looking for some amazing wreath ideas, definitely check her channel out and check out her video for her Look for Less wreath dupe that she is creating today. Make sure you go over there and tell her I sent you. So for my wreath today, I am recreating a style that I have seen again and again throughout Etsy. It's a beautiful style and it is very high-end looking. And the prices on Etsy reflect this. Now, we all love a custom made wreath and we appreciate handmade quality items. However, sometimes, especially with today's economy, everything is just a little bit more expensive. And I thought that a style like this would be really great to recreate because we can extend its longevity throughout the summer and right into the fall. Let's get started. I knew that I wanted to use high-end greenery. And instead of going to somewhere like Dollar Tree, I decided to go to Hobby Lobby instead, just because I knew that their items were going to be a little bit more of higher quality, like these right here. However, some of these are quite expensive. This one is $19 for this one particular bush. And everything has gone up in price, honestly. And while these are absolutely beautiful, I was really trying to go out and really find something that was inexpensive, or at least as inexpensive as I could. Here's another bush for $20. And while this has a lot, I decided to go to the garland area to see if I can get a little bit more bang for my buck. Oh, and have you noticed what Hobby Lobby has done recently? Before, all greenery and stems, anything in the floral department would actually be 50% off. But they have changed this, and now they're no longer 50% off when they go on sale. They're only 40% off. Now, while this is still a substantial discount, it does make things a little bit more expensive, in addition to the already increasing prices of their greenery. So when recreating this look, I really wanted to buy as little as possible and spend as little as I could. Now, in my opinion, the garland has a little bit more bang for your buck, if you will. The prices are a little bit better here for what you get. Now, while some garlands are a little sparse, there are others that really have nice quality pieces of, florals and greenery on them that can be used for a project like this. Oh, and some of the wreaths that I saw online had beautiful hydrangeas added to the wreaths, to the greenery portion. And when I looked at the stems at Hobby Lobby, they are going for $13 regular price and almost $8 even when they're on sale. So I decided to just scratch that and just leave it all greenery. So I picked me up a grapevine wreath for $5.99, and no, these don't go on sale anymore, as well as this little bush of like a fern leaf for $9.99, and of course it was at 40% off, so I got it for cheaper. For the majority of the greenery, I went with this garland, and I liked it because it had very good quality greenery on it. And not only did it have a very nice texture, but it had two different size leaves, larger ones towards the base and really smaller ones toward the end. So it kind of almost made it look like it had more than one type of greenery on it without having to buy two separate garlands. It also was kind of droopy and heavy, so it'll give me like a nicer quality, just how it lays on the wreath instead of just, sticking straight out because it's so stiff. This actually has a lot of movement, and I got this for $19.99 at 40% off. I also got this ribbon from Walmart, and that was only $5, and I believe that was back from Easter. And what I just started to do was pull apart the little bush of fern leaves. That way I can have them all individual. And then I started to pull apart the garland as well. Now I decided to cut these in little bundles. That way the section that I glued at a time was a little thicker, and I was also able to use the piece of the garland that was kind of like the main stem so that I could insert it into the grapevine and use that as an anchor. So I kind of made little bundles of this size. Now once I had all of my little bundles cut that I needed, I just put them to the side before I started working on my wreath. And I actually did not use the entire garland for this, so I still had some left over. So next I began to add hot glue to the stems that I would insert into the grapevine in order to adhere the little bushes onto it. Now I was actually having such a hard time because I got this hot glue gun brand new. My last one was really old, and every time I would push the trigger it would be so hard to get to push out the hot glue, and it was just giving my hand so much pain, and it was just getting so difficult. So I decided to buy a new one. But then you might actually notice that I would push the trigger so hard and nothing would come out, and then all of a sudden it would squirt out a ton of hot glue and it was getting everywhere. So anyways, I think it's going to take me a little while to get used to this hot glue gun. So as you notice, I started from the top of the wreath and I began working my way down and around it. And I even left a spot where I am going to be adding the bow later on. Now I'll come back and fill it up even more later, but I just wanted to give it enough space so I had enough room for my bow, depending on how big it was going to be. And yep, there's another crazy hot glue gun drip. It was so bad. Can I just say that I missed my craft room terribly? And I have no idea at this point in my life when or if I'll ever be able to get it back. And now when I felt like I had a substantial amount of the first type of greenery, I decided to start with the little fern leaves. And what I would do is I would just kind of fold the end of the stem back onto itself and kind of twist it so that it gave me a little bit more surface area so that I can glue that piece and then be able to stick it inside of the grapevine as well, with some hot glue also in order to keep it in place. And then I continued to do this throughout the entire wreath, filling out little openings and little crevices that needed something a little bit different and more filler, and just kind of space them out evenly so that there was a nice coverage throughout the entire area of the greenery that had these as well. When I was happy with all of the greenery, I started to work on the bow. And I just began cutting my little pieces that I do individually as usual, that I just kind of fold over onto itself, and then I kind of cut them down, and later on I will put them together to make one bow. Now I did make these slightly larger than the last, that way I can have the smaller ribbons in the front of the bow and the larger ribbons in the back. And what I like to do is I just like to fold it over onto itself and then use a little bit of hot glue in order to attach the two seams on the back. And I do these to everyone. Once I'm done with that, I will lay them the exact way that I want them to kind of sit. And then I'll take some either floral wire, some kind of jute string, anything that I can use in order to tighten all of the pieces together to make one bow. Then I just like to make sure everything looks nice and is in the right position, and I start poofing up the little ribbon pieces so I can see how it's kind of going to sit once it's on the wreath. Next, I'll cut out this one little piece so that I can wrap it around the center area and kind of clean it up. And I just attach it via hot glue. But before I hot glue it completely together, I like to make sure I add another piece of ribbon so that I can have those as the ribbons that kind of hang down from the bow. So then once that's fed through this back area right here, I make sure everything is nice and tight. I glue that little tab to clean everything up, and my bow is done. So next I put the bow on the wreath, and then I try to get the right position, and then using those little jute string pieces that I still have hanging in the back, that's what I use to kind of wrap around the grapevine and attach the bow onto the wreath. Now after I attach the bow, if there are any bald areas like this one right here, I just go back in, add more greenery where necessary, and fill that up. Now all that is left is to hang it, and here is how it turned out. Alright, so let's see how we did. One of the original wreaths that I looked at was $92, and it is stunning. I even made sure to leave the image of the shop in case you guys want to check her out, and I wanted to give her credit because it is beautiful. And mine ended up costing me $29 for the wreath, the ribbon, and both different types of greenery. Now, while this is actually perfectly fine, I can leave it like this. I think I'm going to add another color of ribbon like she has layered underneath it. And I think I'm going to add a little bit more of the greenery that I had left over to just make the greenery part fuller. But all in all, I think we kind of captured the look, and it can be done very easily with just a few supplies. Alright, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And let me know what you guys think of today's Look for Less wreath. I do love the fact that in order to change it up for the seasons or any kind of holiday, all you need to do is change out the bow, and you can customize it for that particular event or season. You can add patriotic ribbons to it for a 4th of July theme, and you can even add fall theme colors to the bow in order to transition it to fall, therefore making this a very versatile wreath. Don't forget to give Julie a visit. I'll have her link to her video in my description box below, and I hope you all have a great day. Hope you're doing well, and I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, adios!